So the thing of it is, we're talking about marbling and of the fat and this sort of thing. American beef also has marbling, but what's different about Japanese Kobe beef in terms of the marbling?
Well, the marbling in the Kobe beef there's much more. There's a lot more fat, probably I'm estimating 50% more than what you would find in an Angus or a Hereford or Charolais. When you see the fat, the first thing you think is bad things, but the tenderness and the taste is where it comes from the fat. The fat produces that for you.
And so the thing of it is, this isn't just a case that it's good for you. You don't even need a knife, right?
Oh, absolutely. The first filet mignon I had out of this, I used a fork. I didn't even have a knife, and I just used a fork and cut right through it. And how tender it is just truly amazing.
And then we talked about omega-3 and omega-6 fats, and what Ken is probably not into the biochemistry of this, but basically those are the good fats that helps everybody be healthier in terms of their immune system and in terms of being able to produce the essential hormones in the body, such as the testosterone and the estradiol, in which you might know those are sex hormones. So in essence, you're going to be sexier if you eat this meat. I had to get that in. So at any rate, the thing is, it is a very special kind of meat that is much more nutritious for you than we normally would expect.
Yes, yes. The omega-3 and omega-6, I mean, you hear doctors talking all the time about the omega-3 and omega-6 that you find in fish and turkey and chicken. And now, people are not trying, but they're kind of getting away from the beef product. Now with the beef having this, or the Kobe beef having this, I mean, it's good and healthy. It's not a risk anymore.
And so we have these tremendous bonus from the omega-3s and the omega-6, and we're not even talking about the amount of iron that meets your requirements every day, and protein, very important, essential part of children developing and for our own immune system and maintain good health. So lots of things like that. Now, let's, Ken, talk a little bit about your operation. How many, you're got some cows, right, and a bull?
Yes, sir. I've got 200% bulls right now. That the one is a mature bull that I breed the existing cows with. I have a total of 38 head right now, with about 5 more yet to calf this summer.
And then he said 2 100% bulls, and we probably ought to explain that just a little bit for our audience because we're not in Japan. We're in the United States, and it's a lot harder to get this kind of beef here.
Yeah, what happened several years ago was Japan let a couple of the highest quality bulls be imported to the United States. In Japan, they don't have the pasture area to just let them roam, and that's why you hear the myth of or it's not a myth, but where they massage and feed them beer. Here in the United States, they can get out and get their exercise in the pasture fields. And now, with the 100%, they've crossbred with the Angus. And with that, they're trying to keep the marbling a very high. Angus has a good marbling reputation the way it is, and now with the Wagyu being crossed with them, it even increases more.
And I wanted to share with you, one of my clients in Japan, indeed they massage the muscles on those calves because they don't have the exercise area and they don't have the grazing. And indeed, I also know that these guys in Japan will give them a couple bottles of beer every day just to enhance their appetite and this sort of thing. And of course, it went without saying that the owner was also having a couple bottles of beer, and I think sometimes he forgot how many that couple of bottles were, and it sounded like him and the steer both did quite well whenever they did that. So the thing of it is, tell us a little more about, you have 38 head, and you're producing Kobe beef.
Yes. My animals right now most of them are crossbred with the Angus. They're not 100%, but of the 100%, I have one young bull calf. He's about a year old now. That about another 8-10 months, I'm going to butcher him and see what 100% American-style Kobe tastes like.
The thing is, with that is that having had Kobe beef in Japan, and I personally can testify to what a great flavor and a great taste, and how healthy it is for you, this is a unique product. We talk about raising Kobe beef, And you told me earlier how docile they are. Are there any challenges that confront you with raising this kind of beef?
Right now, no. The animals are very, very docile, like you said, and when they have calves in the springtime, I go out and I tag the ears so I can keep the identifications, and that helps me with the DNA and all the blood work that I do. Each cattle is registered through the American Wagyu Association. The birth weight of these animals are much smaller than usual. Average is probably 25, 30 pounds for a calf. I mean, they're very small when they're born. The cow has them much easier. Everything goes very well. There's very few issues with the birthing. The animals are very, when they see me coming out, I mean, they come right to me. They come right up, and they're within 10 feet of me all the time. They're very, very easy to get around, very easy to work with.
And tell me, do they grow like American cattle? What's their rate of gain like? Is the other parts of the management, does it go similarly to American cattle?
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to supply the feed and the grain to make them grow. The animals, they tend to, throughout the year, different parts of the time of the year, they have a little bit better gain of weight than other parts. I've had one animal this year that's gained almost 5 pounds a day, and he went from like 650 to 1,000 pounds in just a little over a month and a half. And but then during the winter, of course, they slow down. All the food is taken in for energy to keep them warm and whatnot. But the average weight of gain, I'm guessing, is anywhere from 3 to 4 pounds a day.
And to put that in perspective, we consider that calves are growing well if they gain more than 2 pounds a day. And is their feed conversion any different for Wagyu cattle than the American breeds?
No, it's pretty similar. The biggest thing that I've found so far, I guess, is that they take time, different parts of the year that they may slow down in eating a little bit, but then they pick up, and then their weight of gain is right back again. They're very easy to take care of because they're so docile, and I get into the pens with them or into the corrals with them all the time, and they're very, very gentle animals.
And I know we're going to have people interested in trying them and order some. Where would they make contact and this sort of thing to purchase a Wagyu steak or a Kobe steak?
Well, I sell individual pieces, one piece all the way up to a live animal. I have a website. It is www.BuckBoyBeef.com. I also have a phone that I carry with me that's designed just for the business. It's 614-395-4026.
And lastly, all the processing is done here in Johnstown, Ohio, at the Perfect Meat Shop on East Coshocton Street in Johnstown, Ohio. And that's just northeast of Columbus, Ohio. And this is where Ken gets all of his beef processed. And this, I might add, is under state meat inspection. So it's all been inspected and met the highest standards here in the state of Ohio. We'll be back later, folks, from the farm operation so you can see firsthand how these calves grow. I'm Doc Sanders. We're out on the farm with Ken Kovach at his Wago cattle operation. Ken got in the business just a few years ago. And so part of this game with these cattle, and I call this a game because other cattle, the American or English breeds of cattle, there's a ready market all the time that every week they can take them to a collection point in a sale barn and sell them. Whereas if you're going to get the value out of these, you've got to do the marketing. How do you get that done?
Mainly, when I first started out, it was mainly word of mouth. I've got my website up, and I'm starting to get some people out of state and all over the state right now. A lot of it is basically word of mouth right now because I'm not up to a high volume where I want to be. I'm hoping to be there within 2 to 3 years.
And your focus, is this on providing food for Americans, or is it in breeding stock?
I'm mainly in it for the food. I've seen other distributors what they're charging for it, and I'm doing it at a lot less of a price per cut because I'm able to supply everything right here close at hand.
And these calves are primarily grass-fed, and then just use some grain to put some additional fat on them to give them that extra flavor. Is that correct?
That's right, and then that also helps increase the marbling in the meat is with the extra grain. I usually try to have them on the grain for about 6 months before they're processed.
So here we are, folks, at the farm where Ken Kovach is raising Wagyu beef for the market. I'm Doc Sanders.